in your eyes. I wasn't expecting to see so many men in here, actually, when I came in. I thought it said Hitchin Girls' School. Never mind. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make a basic dough, a basic bread. What I'm going to use is basic ingredients. Now, to start with, obviously I've got strong flour. Now I'm going to make an olive, coriander and onion flatbread. I'm going to show you how to make a basic dough first, and then we'll add the bits in, and then what I'm going to do is pan fry it as well and show you how quick you can actually do it. Okay, we start with the flour, into which I'm using, has anybody seen this stuff before? Yeast. Now this is instant yeast, or the powdered stuff. This yeast is by far and away the best. A, it doesn't stink out your fridge, so you don't have to, it's not going to go out of date within 2 weeks, and it's easy to find as well in all supermarkets. This yeast in there first, just give it a quick little mix. Then you add your salt. Now the reason why I don't put the salt in straight away with the yeast is because if the yeast comes in contact with the salt, it can retard the dough or stop it from growing. So it's not going to have that oomph, it's not going to be excitable, it's not going to start growing very quickly, because salt on yeast kills it instantly. It'll take about 5-10 minutes, but it'll start eating into the yeast and kill the bacteria that's in there. So the best thing to do is just blend your yeast in first, then blend your salt in. You don't have to dilute your yeast before you put it in the flour. You just chuck it in, no problem. Okay? The next thing I'm going to add is a little bit of olive oil. You can add butter to this if you want, or lard. You can add anything you want to it. It's just a fat. It's just to make sure that the product itself will last a bit longer than 2 hours. Now I'm going to add a little bit of milk to this one, and then water. That's grand, thank you very much indeed. And a little bit of water, and then start gently massaging the dough. Okay, what we've got here is a soft dough. Now, that's still got to pick up all that flour there. That's quite stiff at the moment, although soft. I'd rather have it quite wet, so a little bit more water. Do a little bit at a time. Don't just chuck all the water in straight away. It's the biggest mistake everybody makes when they're making bread. Gently massage the dough, a little bit more. And then just crush it together at this stage. I'm not into kneading and lots of work. And you'll end up with a smooth dough like that. All right? It's a soft mess. But at this stage, I'm going to knead it for a bit. And I'll show you how to knead. Your heel of the palm, fingers in and push down. In, push down, and push down. And all you do, you start speeding up, and it's that motion. You can get this dough really, really soft if you want. So you're doing what the work of a mixer would do. It's quite hypnotic, actually, when you're doing it. Because you put it in a mixer, and a blade just turns it, does exactly the same motion. Not everyone's got a Kenwood or a KitchenAid at home. This is the best way to do it. It's all about developing the gluten. You can see it looks quite rough still, and that's because it's not quite mixed yet. Okay, basic dough, simple as that. Now in this dough, I lived in Cyprus for 6 years, and when I was living there, we used to make this bread all the time. Now, coriander, I love coriander. Good handful of coriander, just ripped and thrown into the dough. It's a basic, I love this smell, I think it's gorgeous. Coriander, a few onions inside as well, and black olives. Does anyone here like olives? You like olives? Okay. Most people, it's like Marmite olives, you love them or you hate them. Just crush them up lightly, it's only to get the juice out of the olive. Olives and coriander really work well together. They are fantastic, a marriage made in heaven. So again, crush the olives in there. Now, all these beautiful Mediterranean ingredients are in this dough. And basically, you're just going to incorporate it into the dough by punching it, squeezing it, and making sure you get as much of that flavour in that dough as possible. And it will soften up that dough because you're adding essentially moisture to a dough in the form of the olives, the moisture inside the olive. One of the basic things you must learn if you ever bake bread, once you've made your basic dough and you've got your consistency right and it's active and it's grown, whatever you add to it, if you add Stilton, well, that's neither dry nor wet, so you can add anything with that, like a walnut, for instance. So Stilton and walnut bread's no problem. If you add something like a liquid to that dough, it's going to make that dough wetter, so you have to counter it by adding something dry to bring it back to the same consistency. That is the basic and fundamental law when making bread with flavours inside it. Now, that is pretty much there. We come back and leave that dough for a minute just to rest for a bit and get this pan quite hot. All you do is you get your basic dough, cut off little pieces of dough, like so, and then shape them into a ball. Doesn't matter, quite rough as you want, it's fine, as long as it's roughly round. The reason why it's not going to go perfectly round is because there's so much stuff in there that it starts seeping out. This thing can be served with hummus, tala massalata. You can have any form of dip with this, cucumber dip, and this is delicious. And it's a very, very quick way of impressing your family with your baking skills and cooking skills. Just flatten out each one. Okay, rolling pin. Make sure it's quite hot. Get a piece of this dough and gently roll it out, trying to keep as much of the bits inside it. Some of them will come out, it's not too much of a problem. And try and take it as thin as you can. It's a bit like making pizzas. Just be patient with it, don't try and get it too thin straight away. Just use plenty of flour, flip it over occasionally. The reason why I'm doing that is just to stop it from sticking, really. Fingers in to open it up a bit more, and that will be perfect. Get your piece of dough. Doing Ainsley. Bless him. Okay, let's have a quick look at this fella. Nearly there. Smells fantastic, and you smell those onions. It's quite active as well. This thing is more Mediterranean style, but that'd go well with an olive salad, a feta salad, any sort of Mediterranean salad, that goes really well with. So what you can do with this sort of dough is very versatile. You can make a loaf from it, you can make flatbread with it, you can do pita breads with it. So again, one recipe can create lots of different breads. Thank you very much indeed, guys.